My wife walked through the door wearing a police uniform, but she's not a cop. Never was. So why did she smell like someone else's cologne, and whose badge was still sitting in her car? Whatever it was, she never expected me to find it. My name's Marcus, 37. Married for 7 years. No drama, at least not the kind you'd see coming. Until that night. Erica walked through the door at 9:17 p.m., hair windblown, cheeks flushed, and wearing a damn police uniform, shirt tucked in tight. Name patch that didn't say hers, badge clipped to the front. Even the belt. I'm talking full get-up, standard issue. Tactical boots and everything. I was sitting on the couch in sweats, watching some rerun. She dropped her keys in the bowl like this was just another Tuesday. I asked her, "What the hell are you wearing?" She didn't even blink. "Relax, it's a work thing," she said, brushing past me, heading for the kitchen like she hadn't just kicked reality in the throat. I followed her. "A work thing?" She cracked a can of sparkling water, took a long sip, then said, "We're partnering with local departments on a fraud outreach campaign. Community stuff. I did a ride-along tonight. PR optics." She smiled like that explained everything. Only problem? Erica works for an insurance firm. Mid-level analyst. No field assignments. No tactical role. And definitely no reason to be on a ride-along wearing a uniform tailored to her curves like it was made for seduction. I couldn't stop staring at the badge. The last name on it wasn't ours. "Whose uniform is that?" She looked down, then shrugged. "I don't know. They pulled something from storage. Didn't have time to make me one." I nodded like I bought it. But something in me had already shifted. Her eyes were too bright. Her voice too chipper. Her lipstick was fresh, but her earrings were gone. Her hair was pulled back just enough to hide the smudges around her neck. Lipstick on a collar's cliché for a reason. You notice it because it's not supposed to be there. And I noticed something else, too. She smelled like a man. Not just cologne with sweat under it. Skin on skin. The kind of smell that clings after someone's been on you for hours. She caught me sniffing the air and raised a brow. "You good?" I said nothing. Just smiled, nodded once, and sat back down. She went upstairs to shower. I waited a full 30 seconds, then slipped out the front door and into the garage. I opened her car. The cabin light came on. Leather seats. Neat console. But there was something stuffed under the passenger side floor mat. A black leather badge wallet. I pulled it out with 2 fingers like it might burn. The name on the ID said D. Rossner. And the photo? It was him. A face I didn't recognize. Late 40s. Square jaw. White male. Badge number. Local precinct. That wasn't a work contact. That was the man who'd just taken my wife on a ride-along and let her come home wearing his uniform. My stomach churned so hard I had to grip the door frame. She didn't borrow that uniform. She wore it for him. Wore it while riding shotgun in his squad car, probably calling him sir, in more ways than one. I put the wallet back exactly where I found it, walked back inside, and when she came down in sweats 20 minutes later, hair wet, smile wide, acting like everything was fine, I made her tea. I asked about her day. I acted like I hadn't just looked into the eyes of the man she was screwing behind my back. Because now, I wasn't going to accuse. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to watch. And when I had everything, I was going to end her without ever raising my voice. I didn't sleep that night. Laid there beside her like nothing was wrong, staring at the ceiling while her breath stayed steady and innocent. At 2:14 a.m., she turned in her sleep and rested her arm across my chest. I didn't flinch. I waited. Waited for the sun to rise. Waited for her alarm to buzz. Waited for my moment. At 6:42 a.m., she rolled out of bed with a yawn, headed to the bathroom like nothing in her world had shifted. I made coffee. 2 mugs, like always. Her usual. Light roast, 1 pump vanilla creamer, splash of oat milk. The details felt disgusting in my hands. She came down wearing joggers and that threadbare college tee she always threw on after showering. The kind of look that screams comfort, routine, familiarity. It felt like mockery. I handed her the mug and she smiled. "Thanks, babe." She kissed my cheek like she meant it. Then she said, "I think the campaign is going to be a mess. Half the departments are dragging their feet." I played my part. I nodded. Said, "You'll figure it out." Then I asked, "You gonna be riding again today?" She hesitated just long enough to trigger something cold in my chest. "Nah," she said. "That was just a one-off." "Sure. One off. Like the way she hadn't even brought the badge wallet inside. Like the way the name, D. Rossner, hadn't even blinked across her face when I said it out loud the night before. Because I did. Casually. Oh, who was the cop again? Rossner? She blinked. Too fast. What? The guy from yesterday. His name was Rossner, right? She looked away. Poured cereal. Shrugged. Yeah, I think so. Didn't really catch it. Didn't really catch it? You don't forget the name of a man whose clothes you just wore home. But I smiled. Nodded. Waited. The moment she left for work, I got to it. I didn't need to guess anymore. I needed facts. Step 1 was the dash cam. Not the front-facing kind. This one was a micro camera I'd bought 2 years ago when we had a break-in scare. It had been sitting in my desk drawer collecting dust. That morning, I installed it beneath her dashboard, wired through the glove box. Took 15 minutes. Records both video and audio. Connects via Bluetooth to a secure cloud folder. Next, her phone. She always left it charging in the bathroom during showers. Always. I downloaded a remote sync tool, discreet, encrypted, masked under a generic calendar app icon. Took 2 minutes. Photos. Messages. GPS logs. Cloud backups. All mine now. That evening, I smiled when she came home. Asked about her day. She told me a story about a coworker who was obsessed with cop shows and kept making law and order jokes all day. Cute. I asked if Rossner was around again. She said no, with a little too much relief in her voice. Then she reached for her wine. She always drinks when she lies. I didn't say anything. Just watched her laugh at a sitcom while scrolling TikTok like a woman with no secrets. The first batch of files came in that night. I opened the synced photo folder. Mostly boring stuff at first. Lunch pics. Office shots. One mirror selfie in the work bathroom. Then, there it was. A blurry mirror selfie. Not in our house. Not in her office. And definitely not from a ride-along. It was from inside a locker room. Police issue tile. Fluorescent overhead lights. Her in the uniform again. But this time unzipped halfway down, showing just enough to piss off God. Her caption? Too bad they don't make this in your size, winking face. No contact name. Just an emoji. But the reply? A shirtless torso. Police badge visible on the belt. Same badge number as the wallet I found. Message read. You look better in it than I ever did. My jaw locked. Fingernails dug into the couch cushion like claws. The file was timestamped 2 days before. 2 days before she walked through our front door smelling like someone else. My wife had a cop's uniform. Had his attention. Had his bedroom access. And now? I had hers. All of it. The audio files uploaded next. I sat there at midnight with headphones in, listening to everything her car had heard that day. Normal music. Some work calls. Then her voice. At 5:26 p.m., she answered a call. Hey, Captain. Silence. Then a giggle. I'm still sore, by the way. Thanks for that. More silence. Faint chuckle from the other end. Then she said something that almost made me drop the headphones. Same time next week? She paused, then added, Use your badge this time. I like that. I didn't move. I didn't blink. I just sat there in the dark listening to the echo of a marriage crumbling one filthy syllable at a time. And the worst part? She sounded happy. Alive. I hadn't heard her voice like that in months. It wasn't mine anymore. It was his. But I didn't delete the files. I didn't scream. I just opened a folder on my laptop, labeled it with today's date, and began building her grave, one receipt at a time. She said it like it was routine. I'm heading out around 6. Work seminar in Crestview. Won't be back till late. Don't wait up. She kissed me on the temple like I was her tired, trusting husband. Like I wouldn't notice she was wearing a different bra. One I hadn't seen in years. One she used to save for special nights. She grabbed her laptop bag, slipped on boots that made her 2 inches taller and 10 times bolder, then left. She never asked if I'd be okay. I waited 10 minutes. Then I got in my car, kept my headlights off, trailed her 2 blocks back, watched her turn onto the freeway and head east, not toward her office, not toward any building I recognized, but towards something that made my skin crawl the moment I saw the exit sign. Miller Creek Motel. One of those places you pay by the hour. I pulled into the lot a few minutes after she did, parked behind the truck rental place across the street, and shut the engine down. She got out wearing a coat over her outfit now. Not zipped. Like she wanted someone to see what was underneath. He pulled up 2 minutes later. Same black cruiser I'd seen in her synced GPS logs 3 times that week. He got out smiling. Didn't even look around. Because cheaters never think they're being watched. She ran into his arms like a goddamn rom-com character. Full hug. Face in his neck. Then they walked in together. Didn't even look back. Room 112. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there in my car with my fingers clenched so tight around the steering wheel I thought I'd snap the leather. She was mine. She wore my ring. She used to whisper promises into my skin that now belonged to someone else, but I didn't confront her. Not yet, because I still wasn't done collecting. When she got home later that night, around 11:40 p.m., she looked tired, flustered, but satisfied in a way I hadn't seen since our honeymoon. She said, "Long night. Those presentations were brutal." I nodded, asked if she wanted tea. She said she was too tired. Just needed sleep. I told her she looked beautiful anyway. She blinked, caught off guard, then smiled. Maybe she thought she still had me wrapped around her finger. She went upstairs. I followed her 10 minutes later. She was already asleep, or pretending to be. I watched her from the doorway for a long time. Then I turned around and started setting the stage. It took me 3 more days to build it. While she went to meetings, I prepped. While she slept, I listened to her car recordings. He called her Rookie. She called him Captain. Sometimes he laughed. Other times he gave her instructions like she was taking orders on patrol. Sometimes they didn't talk at all, just breathing, the shuffling of bodies, the sound of zippers and skin. I documented everything. Timestamps, photos, audio. I printed the text messages from her phone, screenshots of the locker room selfies, map logs from her GPS history, a still from the motel security cam. I paid a guy $50 to pull it. Everything went into one black folder. No title, no labels, just facts, cold, untouchable. Truth doesn't need decoration. Then I made the mirror. I went to the craft store, bought red lipstick, same shade she wore the night she first came home in uniform. I took a photo of the badge wallet I'd found in her car, printed it in glossy color, taped it to the top of her vanity mirror. Then I laid out each photo, each screenshot, each message in perfect, symmetrical rows around it, like evidence on a crime board. Dead center, in red lipstick, I wrote one line. "You looked in the mirror and saw someone else. Now so will everyone else." Then I waited. The night I did it, she came home late again. Said she was grabbed for after-hours debriefs. Same lie, new word. I nodded. Told her dinner was in the fridge. She microwaved it, ate in silence, and went upstairs. I counted the steps. I knew the moment she entered the bedroom because the sound stopped. No footsteps. No movement. Just stillness. Then the scream. She yelled my name like she just walked in on a robbery. I walked upstairs calmly. She was standing in front of the mirror with both hands over her mouth, shaking so violently her wine glass from downstairs had shattered at her feet. "Marcus," she said, voice already breaking. What is this?" I didn't answer. I just stood in the doorway and watched her come apart. "This isn't what it looks like," she said, turning toward me like she could still sell the lie. I tilted my head. "Then what is it?" She blinked. Too fast again. How did you get this stuff? This is crazy. You can't go through my phone." I took a step forward. "I didn't go through your phone," I said. "Your phone gave itself to me." I handed her the black folder. "You did the rest." She flipped through it like a woman paging through her own eulogy. The texts, the badge photo, the motel timestamp, then the final image, her in the mirror, in his uniform, smirking like she owned the world. She sat down on the edge of the bed. No fight left, just shaking. "Quiet. I didn't mean to," she started. I held up a hand. "I don't care what you meant." She looked up, eyes red. "I still love you," she whispered. "No," I said. "You love what I gave you. Safety, reputation, a name to hide behind." Then I turned and walked out of the bedroom. The next morning, she found the house empty, her key fob disabled, my name wiped from our joint accounts, and a new text on her phone. "This wasn't your last mirror, just your first." I left early. Didn't slam the door. Didn't pack loudly. Didn't even take everything. Just what I needed. Laptop, IDs, evidence folder, and the last ounce of dignity I hadn't given to her. I watched from the neighbor's porch as she walked outside in her robe, staring at the driveway like she couldn't believe it was empty. She didn't call, didn't text. Maybe she thought I'd cool off, come home. She never knew I was done pretending, because I didn't just leave the house, I left her life, and I wasn't leaving quietly. I mailed the first envelope that afternoon. No return address, no note inside, just a crisp, clean packet of screenshots, her messages to the captain, the photo of her in uniform, the motel timestamp, his badge, then a link, a private drive folder labeled Community Engagement Fraud, Confidential Review. Sent it straight to her company's HR inbox. Same thing, different contents to internal affairs. I changed the focus, made it about him this time. Abuse of uniform. Possible misconduct. Misuse of vehicle while on duty. Let them connect the dots. The third one went to a quiet house in a nearby suburb. The captain's wife. I'd found her Facebook through tagged anniversary photos. Matched her address through property records. That letter wasn't revenge. It was justice. Inside? Just the badge photo, motel timestamp, and Erica's selfie in uniform. No message. No need. A few hours later, Erica finally called. I didn't answer. Her voicemail was short, breathless. Please, we need to talk. I think you did something. I smiled when I heard it. Because when someone like her says, think, it means they know. I went dark after that. Wiped all shared passwords. Scrubbed the shared calendar. Had the locks changed by noon. My name was already off the lease by the next morning. She didn't know where I was. Didn't know where I was going. But I knew exactly where she'd be. Squirming under the weight of exposure. Checking her inbox every hour. Waiting for the cracks to spread. And they did. 2 days later, her podcast was gone. Erica used to run a small empowerment brand. Strength and stillness. Real poetic stuff. Soft voice, healing energy, spiritual quotes layered over sunsets. I found it nauseating even before the affair. But now it was all a lie. And all I had to do was let the lie burn itself down. I created a new Reddit account. Posted one screenshot from her private text in a popular self-improvement forum. Didn't name her. Didn't need to. Enough of her listeners recognized the tone, the writing style, the timeline. Within hours it was everywhere. Comments exploded. People tagging her handle. Calling out the hypocrisy. Calling out her. By midnight, her name was trending in the wrong corner of Twitter. She shut it down the next day. Instagram. Gone. Podcast. Pulled. Brand. Erased. And me? I was still quiet. Still waiting. Because my silence now? It was louder than anything she could scream. I waited a week. Watched the dust swirl around her while she tried to clean it up. She posted a vague, taking time for my mental health, message on her professional page. Deleted every trace of me from her personal one. Started liking trauma quotes and reposting articles about forgiveness and betrayal. It was almost funny. She was rewriting the story like she always did, twisting it into something noble, something survivable. But she wasn't surviving. She was sinking. I just gave her the space to drown. Because I wasn't done. Not yet. The final stage of the plan needed one more move. A favor. I'd worked a long-term contract with a private firm that happened to have a business relationship with her company. It wasn't personal, just overlapping logistics. But it gave me a name. A contact. One that owed me a favor for helping cover his ass on a shipment error 2 years ago. I didn't ask him to fire her. I just told him she'd been using company resources to pursue personal liaisons. That the proof existed. That I didn't want to go public, but I wouldn't stay silent either. He said, understood. Then he paused, and said, would you like to be there when we asked her to explain? I said, yes. It happened on a Thursday. They scheduled a compliance check-in. Routine. Standard quarterly procedure. Erica wouldn't suspect a thing. She showed up early, blazer crisp, hair pinned back. That same calm confidence she used to talk herself out of speeding tickets and family drama. She smiled at the assistant. Waited patiently. They walked her down to a small conference room on the 3rd floor. Inside? A long table. 2 HR reps. My contact from the firm. And me. Sitting at the end of the table. Facing her. She froze in the doorway. It hit her all at once. Marcus? She said, blinking like a woman waking from a dream. The HR rep gestured for her to sit. Erica didn't move. What is this? Nobody answered. I didn't even blink. My contact opened the folder first, slid it across the table toward her. Inside? The badge photo. The text logs, motel records, time stamps that aligned with company calendar entries, days she claimed to be on client visits. HR didn't speak for a full 30 seconds. They let the silence dig in. She opened the folder slowly, flipped through the pages like she was flipping through her own obituary. Then she looked at me. You set me up. No, I said calmly. You exposed yourself. I just made sure someone else saw it. The HR woman cleared her throat. We've received complaints of professional misconduct. Your personal activities were conducted during logged business hours, while using your company email and car service. Erica turned pale. That's not, I didn't. None of this was part of work. My contact spoke next. You put the company in a legal liability position. That alone is grounds for termination. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I leaned forward. You wore his uniform, I said, in photos taken during time you billed to your employer. That's misuse of corporate time and image. I didn't think it would go this far, she said, voice cracking. No one answered, because we were past thinking. This was consequence. They didn't fire her on the spot. They let her leave the room, but they collected her badge at the front desk, disabled her company card before she hit the elevator. She'd be formally let go within 24 hours under conduct unbecoming and ethics violations. No severance, no reference, no second chance. She didn't say a word to me as she left, just looked back once through the glass wall of the conference room, like she still expected mercy. I gave her none, because mercy was for people who made mistakes. She made choices. The next morning, she showed up at my apartment, hair down, no makeup, hoodie over her frame like a shell. She didn't knock at first, just stood there outside the glass door like a ghost. When she finally did, it was soft, hesitant. I opened it just enough to see her face. Please, she said, voice shaking. Can we talk? I stepped outside and pulled the door shut behind me. She looked exhausted, eyes red, hands shaking. I lost everything, she whispered. No, I said. You gave it away. She stared at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. Did you really have to destroy my career? I didn't destroy it, I said. You built it on lies. I just stopped propping it up. Her voice cracked again. You could have talked to me. I laughed once. Quiet. Cold. I did, I said. For years. You just listened with your eyes closed. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. I'm not here to punish you, Erica, I said. I'm here to make sure I don't carry your wreckage into the next chapter of my life. She didn't reply. She just stood there, alone, in front of a door that would never open again. After the office incident, she went silent for 2 days. No calls. No texts. No emails. Nothing. I thought maybe it was over. That maybe she finally got the message. That her story didn't end with redemption, just deletion. Then came the voicemails. The first was stiff, formal, like she was reading from a crisis handbook. Hey Marcus, I know you're angry. I'd like to talk. No pressure. Just call me back. I didn't. The second came 12 hours later. Softer. Slower. I didn't sleep last night. I keep thinking about the last thing you said. That I listened with my eyes closed. You were right. I was blind. To everything. She sounded hollow. I still didn't reply. The third one came at 3:27 a.m. Her voice? Cracked wide open. I hate myself, she said. God, I don't even know who I am anymore. I wake up and feel like I'm in someone else's skin. You don't have to forgive me. I want you to know I hear you now. I hear everything. And I'm sorry. For all of it. Then she started crying. Real crying. Ugly crying. The kind you do when no one's watching. But I was. And not in the way she thought. Because that voicemail? It wasn't meant for me. I only heard it because she screwed up. See, after I cloned her phone, I kept a private number logged into her cloud voicemail archive. It pulled in everything, messages she left, even the ones she recorded and never sent, like the one she left for him. Captain Badge Number Rossner. She must have still had his number saved. She called it the same day she came to my door. Didn't even block it. Didn't even hesitate. The message hit my inbox with a neutral label. Outgoing, 2:08 p.m. And because I was stupid, or curious, or just not ready to let go, I hit play. Her voice came through weak, breathy. Hey, I don't even know if this number still works. But if it does, I need to say this. Long pause. You ruined me. Another pause. Shaky breath. I lost my job. My marriage. Everything. And you? You just disappear. You won't even look me in the eye. Was this ever real for you? Or was I just some bored little side project you could dress up and bend over? I sat back slowly, heartbeat dull. She kept going. I gave you pieces of myself I never even gave my husband. And I don't know if that makes me disgusting or honest, but either way, I thought I mattered. Her voice broke. You told me you'd leave her. You said I made you feel alive. She sniffed, gasped. I should have known. I was never going to win. Then came the whisper. The one that didn't sound rehearsed. I miss him. Not you. Silence. I miss the man who made me feel safe, who kissed my forehead when I was sick, who held me like I was breakable but never broken. The one I erased. The one I lied to. The one I would give anything to unhurt. Then the line clicked dead. I sat in the dark and replayed the last 30 seconds again. Not because I wanted to. Because some sick part of me still needed to hear it. I closed the laptop and poured a drink. Not to celebrate. Not to mourn. Just to sit with the truth. She hadn't apologized to me. She apologized to the man who ghosted her. And still found a way to make herself the victim in both stories. That night, I finally blocked her. Everywhere. Phone. Email. Social. Even her mother. Because the truth is, I wasn't angry anymore. I was tired. Tired of watching her rerun the same sob story for a different crowd, hoping someone would clap. But there was no applause now. Just the echo of her voice bouncing off walls no one cared to hold up anymore. 3 weeks later, a mutual friend messaged me. She's moved in with her sister. Can't find work. The podcast's done. The cop blocked her. Whole thing's imploding. I read it. Didn't reply. She was a mirror with no reflection now. Just shattered glass where someone used to be. And me? I was still here. Still clean. Still moving forward. The silence she left behind? It was mine now. And I was finally learning how to breathe inside it. It was a Sunday morning. Gray sky. Rain on the window. Quiet enough to hear my own breath for once. I just poured coffee when the knock came. Not loud. Not urgent. Just soft. Like someone asking to come back into a place they'd already burned down. I opened the door a crack. Erica stood there, soaked to the elbows, clutching a cardboard box to her chest like it was the last piece of herself that hadn't fallen apart. I didn't say anything. Didn't move. She didn't smile. Didn't pretend. Hey, she said, voice low. I thought you might want these back. She held up the box. I could already see what was inside. My old hoodie, a couple framed photos, that concert ticket stub she used as a bookmark in her journal. Relics. I stepped onto the porch. Let the door click shut behind me. She looked up at that sound like it slapped her. I didn't come to fight, she said quickly. I swear. I don't know. She set the box down, wiped rain from her face. I was cleaning out the closet at my sister's. Found this stuff. Thought maybe. Maybe what? I asked. Not angry. Just tired. She swallowed hard. Maybe you'd want to remember the parts that were real. I looked at her for a long moment. Soaking wet. Mascara running. Breath short. Not beautiful. Not wicked. Just small. Like a shadow of a woman who used to fill rooms with her laugh. I crouched beside the box, lifted the hoodie, ran my fingers over the sleeve. Then I set it back down. You don't get to decide which parts one keep, I said. Not anymore. She nodded, a twitch in her jaw. You're right, she whispered. I don't know who I am without you. I let that sit. Didn't flinch. Didn't bite. Because I'd been there too. But I climbed out. She didn't. I meant what I said in that voicemail, she added. I miss him. I looked her dead in the eyes. So do I. Her breath hitched. She tried again. One last swing. I'm trying to be better. I hope you are, I said. But your better doesn't belong to me anymore. I reached behind me, opened the apartment door just wide enough to grab a sealed envelope off the table, handed it to her. She looked down at it. My handwriting. Her name. She hesitated, then peeled it open. Inside? A single sheet of paper. Typed. Simple. No header. Just a message. This is not revenge. This is remembrance of who I became when I chose myself over someone who wouldn't. She looked up, eyes glassy. You really hate me that much? I shook my head. I don't hate you at all. Then I stepped inside, closed the door, and locked it. She never came back after that. No more calls, no texts, just distance. The kind that doesn't feel like space. It feels like air after suffocation. I kept the box on my porch for 3 days. Then I threw it out. Not in anger. In peace. Because by then, I wasn't haunted anymore. I'd stopped tracing old outlines. Stopped checking her name on social media. Stopped needing to know whether she was sorry, or healing, or just pretending again. She could spin her story however she wanted. I wouldn't be in it. Because the man I became on the other side of her betrayal? He was someone she never got to meet. And never will. 6 months passed. I moved to a new city. Took a job that made me feel something again. Started running at dawn. Stopped explaining myself to people who didn't deserve the truth. Eventually, I started seeing someone new. Nothing fast. Nothing loud. Just honest. And that was enough. Because the lesson wasn't about Erica. It was about me. About the way I gave too much grace to someone who used it as camouflage. About the way I stayed quiet, thinking love was best proven in silence. Not anymore. I speak up now. I draw hard lines, and when I look in the mirror, I see someone I actually trust. Someone she lost the second she thought I wasn't paying attention. The story ended the day I walked away. Every step since has just been proof I should have done it sooner.